Hey guys, and welcome back to iGCSE Success. And if you're wondering why I'm still in my work clothes, well, it's Friday and I had a nap and I've just woken up. But I thought I'd just jump on quickly because today I had lots of free time, so I wrote a short story. I'm just going to read the narrative that I wrote. It's called The Non-Achiever, and I guess it's written in a type of diary narrative style. So feel free to stick around for this literal story time, and you never know, it might give you some ideas for when you are preparing your own narratives for paper 2. By the way, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm just reading it from my laptop, okay? You'll never achieve anything in life, Mr. Johnson. Those were the words uttered to me, a statement which remains very much etched into my mind. I didn't have the most joyous high school experience, that's putting it bluntly. It's funny how words can stay with you for such a long time, how they can just penetrate your consciousness and shroud you with this sort of inescapable gloom. But if there's one thing I've learned over my years of trying to navigate this crazy thing called life, it's that the greatest thing in life always comes down to one thing: proving others wrong. And I did exactly that. 6:30 a.m. The alarm clock did its usual exasperating routine. It wasn't any old alarm clock. Perhaps you've seen them somewhere before. It makes a noise that is somewhere in between a guttural cry and a banshee screaming. My mum bought it for me as a birthday present in a woeful attempt to make me more punctual, or, in her words, more grown up and independent. The worst thing about it was that every morning it came tumbling off my desk and then started rolling around my floor, making a cacophony of unpleasant sounds. Invariably, I found myself trying to kick it with my foot with the aim of making the batteries fly out. What a waste of a present. I really despised mornings. Perhaps that sounds a little too dramatic, but I knew that I would soon have to make my way towards school. I found school difficult. I wasn't a model student, and learning never came naturally to me. I guess you can call me somewhat of a slow burner, although I like to think I gave most of my lessons 100%. But this was never quite enough. Never quite enough to please the insufferable Mr. Whiteknuckle. Yes, that really was his name, and he was my English teacher. 8:10 a.m. It's English class. I begin to jitter. Mr. Whiteknuckle is by the door. His hawk-like eyes are focusing on Johnny Redding. He's forgotten to wear the correct top. I told him we had PE today. I feel a lump in my throat. I cautiously make my way towards the odious demon from hell. What are you waiting for, boy? Nothing at all, Mr. Whiteknuckle. I wanted to desperately tell him everything. I wanted him to know that I wasn't a failure. Be brave, be brave. Mr. Whiteknuckle, I wrote the story you asked me to. I think you're going to like it. Starting to shake, I gave him the paper. I've been working on this story forever. Well, not forever, but certainly a long time. It was about a boy that escaped this otherworldly land where the most magical things on earth happen. Mr. Whiteknuckle grabs the paper, he scoffs and throws it into his mouldy, sun-beaten briefcase. Just stop with these silly make-believe stories. You'll never achieve anything in life, Mr. Johnson. Rooted to the spot, a solemn tear runs down my cheek. Now get in, boy, and do exercise 23. 10 p.m, it's late. I scan the tatty bits of paper strewn all over my room. Paper with magical stories on, but worthless in the eyes of Mr. Whiteknuckle. Have I been fooling myself? A sudden wave of sadness hits me. I start ripping up shreds of paper. I convince myself that it's all worthless, it's meaningless. I will never become a writer. Midnight, exhausted. I turn my attention to the mirror. My reflection is older and wiser. It's funny how things turn out. I heard Mr. Whiteknuckle eventually got sacked from school. Rumour has it that he was done for money laundering. I knew there was something dodgy about him. And me, well, I didn't become a famous writer, but I did become an English teacher. And I've just finished this story for my students. I guess I achieved something, Mr. Whiteknuckle.